Hi, I'm Pastor Melissa. For the sake of this video, you don't even have to believe I'm a pastor. All you need to know is that I have a very expensive degree from Candler School of Theology at Emory University. It gives me the right to talk about theology, the Bible, spirituality, and stuff. Let's get started. Today, let's talk about Barbie. I have a very mixed relationship with Barbie. When I was a kid, I got them, I played with them, but not really. I didn't really enjoy playing with Barbie dolls. I liked making looms and weaving things, or pretending that I made a guitar and play it, or reorganize my bookshelf and call it a library and have checkout for it. I have very mixed feelings about Barbie. Yes, I had a few when I grew up. My sister cut the hair off of one of them and she became bald Barbie. I never related to Barbie because the things that she was doing was socially acceptable things, and I grew up in traumatic situations. Barbies were actually used when I had to go to counseling so that I could reenact what was happening at the house I was living in. This did not leave me with really fond feelings of the doll. When I had my own daughter, I was kind of hoping she never would get into the product. However, she did get a few of them, one of them being this one, which I might add has flat feet. In fact, we went to go see the movie and she leaned over to me and she said, "My Barbie has flat feet." This is Skipper, but flat feet. But enough about me. Let's get to the point. I want to talk about the Barbie movie. Basically, the Barbie movie in a nutshell. Stereotypical Barbie has an existential crisis and she needs to find out why. So she goes to the real world to find the girl who was playing with her so that she can convince her that everything is a-okay and to go back to normal. Only she finds out that she can't be in normal anymore. So she takes the person who was playing with her and her daughter, because she was grown up, back to Barbie Land, and together the three of them solve the kingdom to bring a happily ever after to the world. The end. What I love about the Barbie movie is how it has opened up a discussion that we previously were not having. I want to talk about the Barbie movie from a pastoral perspective. There are two things I want to bring up. Hey, so actually there are quite a few things I want to talk about with the Barbie movie. When I first filmed, I thought there were only two, but it turns out there's more than that. And I do separate them, and I will make sure to let you know where I'm changing the subject. So let's get started. In a Polygon article, Tasha Robinson warms my over-analytical pastoral heart by suggesting all the fan theories of Barbie are true. She suggests this becomes possible when Aaron, a lower-level Mattel worker, bakes it into the ethos when he tries to figure out how the Barbie world works with the real world, and the CEO simply answer a loud yes. I like that truth. It means I can stand by what I say and be on the same level as Ben Shapiro and what he has to say. I mean, we're basically playing with Barbies, and it's up to you to decide whose game you are more interested in watching. Someone who hates what he's playing, or someone who used Barbies as a way to talk about trauma and become a healthier person. Maybe not either of us. Your choice. I believe this movie is intentionally genius. And the fact that no one can verify it because of the writers and actors strikes makes it unintentionally more so. No one is out there answering the questions for us. Greta Gerwig isn't sitting in interviews right now giving us all the answers to our fan theories. Margot Robbie isn't doing the same. Right now, it's the Wild West for the movie, and we are all right and wrong at the same time. The author is dead. We are the bringers of truth now, and the creation is in our hands. Now, what do we do with it? When we talk about Barbie, we talk about our childhood, or at least we should. I I really don't believe that most adult women play with Barbies other than to collect them. Maybe I'm wrong on that. Uh, no hate. No hate for Barbie players in their adulthood. Keep your childhood. I do think there's some sort of transition for those who do play with Barbie. Barbie is an encapsulation of our idea of adulthood. And I feel like the movie really dug into that. With the Barbie movie being a story about growing up, it's also a story about letting go. And anything that is let go is a lament, in that she had to mourn what she could no longer be to become what she was going to be. A woman's lament does not mean that that's the truth she wants to live into. Hey, it's me again. So one of the key things about lament that I didn't mention when I filmed the first time is it's not as much about what is said or shown as the meaning behind what is said or shown. It's not about what Barbie's doing, but why she is doing it. That's the key feature of lament. It's why we can have Psalms in the book of Psalms that are radically horrible, because it's not about that. That's not the truth. In Psalm 137, it's not about beating the baby's heads against the rocks. It's about feeling so oppressed that those are the words that come out of your mouth, like a yowl of a wounded animal. That is the first step to lament, is simply verbalizing what you're feeling so that you can move forward into a new direction. And I think many people miss that in the movie, that it wasn't as much about what was going on as the emotional state within what was going on. I believe the entire Barbie movie takes place in the toy world. And I think there are a few clues that tell us the real world is not simply the real world. First, it's incredibly interesting that Will Ferrell, not Smith, was the CEO. Back when the only thing we knew were previews, I wondered if this was secretly within the Lego Movie world. It screams Lego Movie, with Will Ferrell, not Arnett, being in the same basic role that he played in the Lego Movie. However, Will Ferrell, not Wonka, being in the movie is actually the weakest link in my real world is the toy world theory. More compelling is my second proof. There's a theory from TikTok user Jess Wesley, and she pointed out that the four friends, the three friends and the daughter, not only look like the original Bratz dolls, but are also dressed and named the same. Now, Jessie calls this a nod to the brand that was born from a Mattel creator. However, third, if you pair this with the Mattel CEOs running like dolls, not being able to handle leaving the building, like that's the place they generally live and they've never left it, and the fluidness of the two existences, I think we have a solid theory here. Also, I don't know about you, but I used to pretend my dolls became real. Actually, I'm pretty sure you haven't done this. I played around with the idea of entering fake realities with my never-ending storybook. I completely wrote out an entire story that took place in the, quote, real world, and one that took place in Fantasia. Maybe not you, maybe just me. However, I'm not married to that belief as much as I'm married to this belief. Now, I've heard this theory a few times, but never really has it been explored convincingly. All Barbies are male, and all Kens, and Alan, are female. Now, this is really less about male and female and more about those with power and those without. This convincingly plays out in a few ways in the movie. First, we can understand the word systemic. This movie isn't about Barbie being sexist. Instead, it's about systemic sexism. Oh no, systemic, what a horrible word. Listen, yes, it's been picked up by the political left, and when you hear that word, it's the natural inclination to run away. Now, give me a few minutes on this one. The Barbie world was created for the sake of Barbie, not Ken. Everything from the dream houses to the clothes are meant to make Barbie feel and look good. Even the things Ken uses are meant to highlight their Barbie. Their clothes match their Barbie's clothes. Their accessories match their Barbie's accessories. In every way, Ken is an accessory. That's why when Ken goes to the real world and discovers he can be treated like an equal, he goes a little overboard. He goes back and creates a kingdom. One of the things I noticed about his kingdom was how nothing really fit. It was still Barbie's system. Systematic. Get the relationship? It was still her world. Ken just tried to fit his stuff in her world. Women, when entering what had been considered a guy's world, had to make it work too. Now, let's look at this in relationship to our reality. When women entered what had been considered a guy's world, they had to make it work too. The things around them didn't change. They just had to make their reality fit into what was already there. Let me give you two real-life situations as they worked for myself and my family. Situation number 1. When I was in seminary, they hadn't built the new theology building yet. This meant we were using the same building that served Candler back when all the seminary students were male. Did I mention I was also pregnant? Yeah, my first year of seminary was pregnancy and having a newborn. This building only had co-ed bathrooms on the bottom floor and the women's restrooms on the 3rd floor. This was because they took one of the male restrooms and converted it. That meant I had to carefully plan my bathroom breaks and use the stairs all the time. Did I mention this was the first class of Candler students that had slightly more women graduating than men? We were literally trying to fit into a guy-built world my first year in seminary. Situation 2. Back when my daughter was in 1st grade, the Boy Scouts of America decided to allow girl Cub Scouts and girl troop members. They already had girls in the program with leaders and venture crews, so it wasn't a huge leap to include them in all areas. Now, I'm not here to have a fight about the BSA. Just know your comment will be ignored. That year, I went with the gals to their very first BSA summer camp as their leader. And since then, I've noticed the difficulty the camps have had transitioning to dual gender camps. And this is most apparent in the restrooms, where campsite toilets are not equipped for, to put it nicely, female issues. I bring up both of these stories because it's easy to take Barbie's solution. She simply restored what the Kens did. This should make women feel very uncomfortable. The Kens gave it the good college try, and it didn't work. So time to put everything back. You know, that's been the case for many women ministers as well. Their ministry ultimately fails, and the congregants lament that they gave it a go and it didn't work, and then go hire a male minister to take her place. It doesn't matter that the system around the woman was never changed with the hiring of the woman. Nothing to see here, folks. Go about your day. Kins are not smart enough to have a good job. You understand. Let's not give kin the ability to learn and grow into their world. Just understand they were created to be less than Barbie. No wonder Ben Shapiro was unhappy with that outcome. To quote Ken, Ben, how does it feel? Which brings me to one voice we are strangely missing from this point.
Alan.
In a gender-swapped world, this is Alan. This is also Alan. If this movie taught me one thing, it's understanding why men love their woman Alan equivalents. Us gals are in love with movie Alan. Unable to live in the kingdom, he is perfect for Barbie Land. Us gals should look at Alan and learn a very special word from my vocabulary: grace. While women are trying to redeem their womanhood, the men are trying to restore their manhood. It's really an unwinnable battle. While there are winners and losers, as long as one side is losing, we're really all losing. Our real world Allens are on the side of restoration because restoration seems correct for their worldview. The real world Allens are not the real world kin's friend, even if their packaging says they are. They are on the real world Barbie side. It's a Barbie world after all, and Alan knows it. And while I believe for the most part this movie is rather innocent, truly innocent, I am kind of into the turmoil that's risen up. And I'm getting out my popcorn. That's all I have. I hope that you enjoyed this. And if you did, share and like, please. I am just getting started. Peace.